Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tier List Andy. Tonight on episode, not even an episode. This is just the final, well, it's not even the final. Okay, we're struggling already. Now listen, this is the character tier list for our end of Monogatari, or at least up to this point, after Zoku, tier list for Monogatari. So, that's where we're at. I'm sure hopefully the title is a bit more succinct than whatever that was. The plan is as follows, okay? We're going to listen to the Monogatari music. There'll be like a thing right here, right? And it's the playlist, the OST for Monogatari. We're not starting on the first thing. We're starting on the next track from last time. Because before this episode, before this tier list, right? We did the comments review for Zoku, and I was listening to the Monogatari OST during that. And so we're going to just continue where we left off for this one. So we're going to get even more into the freaking Monogatari stuff. So we're starting with Tadaima Kairimashita. I'm a natural. So I'll just get that going in 3, 2, 1, bang. And again, that'll be top right, whatever direction this is. So you can, if you're trying to stay along, you can. But that's just so that I have something to listen to while I'm yapping. What is this hairstyle, bro? Can we, free the locks, please? Okay, less free? Good enough. Okay. But yeah, so, if it's not already up, boom. Let me just pull up the tier list itself. Where do I want it? Do I want to, I don't have a scroll wheel. Where's my scroll? Oh, wait, I can do this? There we go, perfect. Okay. Here it is. We're going to do multiple tier lists. I think we're going to do the same ones we did last time, which will be best character, best waifu, best friend, is what the 3 other ones were. Because then we can do a little cross comparison or whatever if we want. I glanced, I don't really remember what I put for the last tier list because we did do one in the middle of the show, I think post Koi, if I remember right. I don't even remember, but yeah, so we can do a little cross comparison maybe at the end, but we're going to be starting with the best character tier list. Criteria is going to be roughly as follows. This isn't best character to me is how much did you add to the story, or most specifically, it's how much did you as a character add to my experience of this story, right? I think that's kind of the best way to put it. So, how much was your character a vessel for themes that were really interesting? How much did your character tear apart? Did I emotionally invest in the character themselves? How much did I enjoy just the character's presence, right? Straight up just if you're really funny as a character, even if you're not even part of the themes or whatever, that's still a buff, right? So it's kind of a mix of all those things, right? And obviously it's subjective, if you have your own ranking, feel free to put it in the comments below. Shout out the comments, or, Discord, like the video. Just do all the freaking plugs. But yeah, let's kind of just start at the top. I think I'm going to, for the best character tier list, I think I'm going to skip over the variant forms. So the different versions of Kiss Shot, I'm just going to skip over and just only do Shinobu and only do Hachikuchi. Just because I think it gets a little complicated when we're doing character. For the best friends or the other ones, yeah, I think we can have them divided. But yeah. Wow, why is Araragi at the start? I feel like that's cheating. Also, this music is not at all fitting. What is this music? That's the thing, bro. Their OST is so random, bro. Sometimes they hit you with the craziest stuff you've ever heard that, tears you open, and then sometimes it's, the goofy ah-ah. But yeah, Araragi. I don't want to start with you. Go to the end. Go to, somewhere deeper. There we go. This is much easier. Dramaturgy is easily a meh. Who even are you? You got eaten by Shinobu, or Kiss Shot at the time, in Kizu, and that's pretty much all you did. So, bet. Episode is low-key the same. Episode... I'll put Guillotine down here, too. Who do I prefer, Guillotine or Drama? Drama's the one that... No, Guillotine... Wait, which one of them got eaten? I don't even remember which one of them got eaten, bro. Wasn't it Drama? Because Guillotine, I think, was the full human at the very end. And I think Dramaturgy was... Oh, no, but then maybe he got eaten. Because wasn't Dramaturgy the actual vampire that, Araragi 1v1'd with and, in the track field, right? And they were, throwing stuff at each other? I don't actually remember. I just know Episode's different. Episode, I think, can make it into okay, where I think them two are going to be stuck in mess / who even are you? Reason being, they were in Kizu, they were purely antagonist forces that weren't really, they're kind of a weird these three feel like such a weird inclusion into the full cast, minus Higasa. Higasa also feels weird, where like they don't really have nearly the same level of like depth or anything like that. I think that's almost the point, which is what's kind of interesting about them, where like they're used as kind of one-dimensional antagonistic forces of like vampire hunters or whatever. And so that kind of fits into how weird Kizu is as a movie and like how it's kind of framed. So I think it makes sense that they're here, but they're undoubtedly like still here at the bottom. Episode I think gets to escape because he actually comes back and is like semi-relevant later, though he didn't really. I was kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop in his relevance. He was just kind of there. So like I could see him maybe being relevant in the future or something, but at the moment he's just kind of here. I mean, he's also, of these three, was the most interesting, I think, because of, well, I don't know about interesting, but I think he was my favorite out of these three because of his interactions with Hanakawa, like, you know, smacking her. So, yeah, if you abuse Hanakawa, you go up in my list, apparently. All right, well, never mind. Bet. But yeah, they're kind of weird. Gon's like an actually interesting character we can start with. Gon. I don't know where Gon goes. I think Gon, I don't know if even, like, Gon's in one of these two. It really depends who's around Gon. Right? Whether she's either low great or high good. I'll put her in high good for a minute here. Gon is an interesting force, right? And how she is funny. This is probably going to be a recurring theme, but how she interacts with Araragi and what she means to Araragi is really interesting, right? Like as kind of a almost I've kind of spun her in my head as like a adult figure, so to speak, for Araragi, like an example of what an adult is, you know, condescending, know-it-all, has control over a lot of things, right? Like that, it very much feels like a kid's version of what an adult is in their head, but mixed in with almost maybe even like a teenager, right? Where it's kind of like it's annoying or whatever. So like she feels very interesting in those ways, but then also like in her use, she pretty much mostly is used as an exposition dump. Right? She just dumps a lot of information a lot of the time. A lot of the characters do, but with Gon, it like, and perhaps it's because of Araragi's like perspective or whatever. With Gon, it's like a lot of the times it's kind of annoying, right? So it's kind of hard to rank her, right? I think good is a reasonable spot to start with. Yeah. I'm just looking at her stupid face and her stupid baseball cap, and it's like, what are you even doing? Like, there's so many plans being made. Like, I would say her best moment would be killing Araragi. You know, end of Koyomi, that was sick, right? The whole, like, that was like, yes, we're doing some crazy moves here, and I really liked that. It just, yeah, I feel like, but again, that's she's interesting because of her action there, as opposed to, like, her herself, if that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep her in good for a minute. Hachikuji. Oh, geez, this is going to be such a hard list to do. Hachikuji's minimum great could go into best. I kind of don't think she makes it into best, though. I don't know how many are going to make it into best. If best becomes like a 3 or 4 person thing, Hachikuji could probably make it. But if it's going to be like 1 or 2, then I don't think Hachikuji makes it. Hachikuji for me, man, second. Maoi Hell was so good though. Maoi Hell was goated. Maoi Hell was low-key one of my favorite arcs, I think, actually. We're going to be doing an arc tier list, though, so I won't say anything too crazy. But, I mean, what do I even have to say about Hachikuji? She's my goat. Way back in freaking Monogatari, her twist with Araragi was a great twist. That was, like, one of the first crazy things. That was, like, one of the first crazy things in the show. So, like, I feel like she was an interesting, like, a good way to start the show, you know, other than, like, Senjuga, but, like, she, you know, her arc was, like, it was, dude, I was so annoyed by her for the first part, I feel like, but, like, she grew on me afterwards, and then just throughout the show, she's kind of been my, like, it didn't even start as a joke, but I feel like it kind of became an inside joke a little bit, to be like, Hachikuji, you know, and just really, like, enjoy her character in that way, and just, like, be really excited whenever she shows up, right? So, that is obviously a huge buff to her. She's been, like, so much fun. She might even be my most fun character, right? That, like, I just enjoy the presence of the most, like in the show, just walking around. Like if there was an episode that was like no themes, nothing crazy, but literally just them going to like Starbucks, I would probably choose Hachikuji to be in it. She'd probably be my, if I had to choose one person to just watch go to Starbucks, it'd probably be Hachikuji, you know? I don't know why, or Numachi. Shout out Numachi. I'm a Numachi lover. But yeah, it'd probably be Hachikuji. Or like Hanakawa, I don't know. But probably Hachikuji. So in that way, like, she's a huge win. She's just a huge win. Otherwise, I'm recording, right? Bet. When it comes to like themes, like how is she used? I think as a what's the word? Like how she functioned in Maoi Hell was really fun. I thought that worked really well. She was kind of like Dante's Hachikuji was one of my episode titles because Homegirl literally was like guiding Araragi through hell. Like what an interesting position to be put in. And then the way like he saves her from hell because he can't help but not, right? That's just like so perfect as like an Araragi moment, but also has some really, like if we want to do some like attempts at like a deeper thematic reading, we've mentioned a lot before the Hachikuji inner child idea, which we've kind of ran that through a couple different ringers. It's just the term that I like the most, because obviously there's a lot of qualifiers to what that really means with her character. But how she functions like in that way is amazing, right? Like I've really enjoyed that, which then you can read into in really interesting ways whenever it's like Araragi rescuing her from hell, right? Then it's like he refuses to let go of that like younger aspect of, or what he views to be like youth or whatever, right? And then of course you mix in like the whole like adult Hachikuji thing, right? Like the wisdom beyond her years kind of aspect. And you end up getting like a really like what's the quote she says, like the body of a child but the mind of an adult, and it's like the one reference or whatever. That is just, that whole element I think works really well with her character too, right? Where like as much as we do the elements of play, right, where it's like them screwing around, like Araragi and Hachikuji with the bits they do, the I bit my tongue thing, the like molestation, LMAO, what a show, bro. But like as much as those elements are happening and it's youthful and it's very fun and it's very energetic and it's very playful, right? As much as it's that, we're also getting a lot of this like wisdom. And so the juxtaposition of those two elements, I really, really enjoy, right? Like the wisdom of youth and the youth of wisdom. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful, bro. Because yeah, I mean that's like on a broader scale, that's an abstract idea that I really resonate with, right? That youth has wisdom in it. That a child, like the way that a child interacts with the world is in some degrees enlightened or something like that. That makes a lot of sense to me, right? And I've kind of read into that in my own life a bit, right? Looking into like how I used to be as a kid, how different kids that I've met, right? Like siblings or like cousins or whatever, right? Like seeing how some of them interact with the world, and understanding that kind of has some interesting, I've been able to reflect that kind of back onto myself in some ways that I find to be interesting, right? There's a certain level of like really positive naivety or naivete or something like that I really enjoy. So Hachikuji's goated. I really, 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 really like. I'm gonna add a really here, because honestly, like these characters in this show is so good. Like it's such a good, like such a varied cast, right? In a way, it's very varied. But I'm also looking at it and it's like so many of them are just like look how female oriented the cast is. That's something that's still so interesting to me. But yeah, Hanakawa, my goat. My goatakawa, my Hana goat. I don't even know, bro. I mean, it's like one of these, bro. I'll put her in best for now. She can hold the beacon for now. I still don't know who I'm gonna have in best slot. I'm undetermined as of this moment. I try to walk into these with some idea, but I just couldn't figure it out. So I was just like, F it, I'll figure it out live. I mean, what could I even say about Hanakawa, bro? She's my goat. Integrating the self, bro. Which me will I be tomorrow is perhaps my favorite line of dialogue in the entire show. Like, is it really my favorite line? It might be. If I'm always if I'm always myself, which me will I be tomorrow? My goodness. And that's her walking into her room, right? And so it's like, there's something to me also about like how she enters into the room and it's like in the door frame. That's like, that really hits me for some reason, because it's like a transitory space, right? You're not in one room or the other, you're in the space between. And so like there's something so like interesting to me about like that ambiguity that I really like, especially because that idea of ambiguity syncs up so well with the other things going on with the character of like her different selves that she's interacting with, that she is like determined into one being, and like, which me will I be tomorrow? I mean, it's an ambiguous statement. She doesn't know who she'll be, right? And there's just, that scene is so perfect to illustrate that. So, and it's like, dude, I was feeling it well up. I was feeling like something well up just in my face, just thinking about it, right? So that's just one of the best moments in the entire show for me, for sure. And that was a pure Hanakawa character moment, right? So shout out Hanakawa for that. Her coming back in during that Ogi, was it Ogi Dark? I'm so bad with the titles still, but where Araragi and Ogi are, the darkness is right above them, and she brings back Oshino right at the last moment there. My goodness gravy. Like, that's like my goat, like, coming in clutch right when we needed her to 101, you know? And so in those ways, like, she's like, it's just so great. There's in the last arc, Zoku, that we just went through, like, trying to think about her through different perspectives with the kind of going off the whole mirror thing, right? And like the different ways we kept being told of like how the story was working, right? Where it's like, oh, it's their inner self. Oh, it's their regrets. Oh, it's their blah blah blah. It's their subconscious, right? Getting all these different ideas with Hanakawa like really gave a new way to like view her character that I really like tried to spend some time with. And it, man, I think that I really appreciated one of the conclusions I reached, and what that meant for Hanakawa as a character, and like my understanding of her. Even if it's funny, because even the conclusion I reached was based off, I think I was coming up with like a reason, like what got flipped with her with the mirror, and it was the idea that like, oh, her unity got flipped. Like, she has on the surface, in the normal world, she has a unified Hanakawa, and that's like the tiger stripes or whatever. She has all these different parts, you know, grouped together. And in this other world, they're not grouped together, so they're all split, right? That to me made a lot of sense, and it actually kind of reflected back onto me, because I really relate a lot with her as a character, right? The whole like, which me will I be tomorrow thing. I feel like that a lot, right? And that of course I talked about during Tsubasa Tiger. But that idea of like the unity being flipped kind of helped to me add on to a concept of self, of like, yourself is not any of your individual parts, and not even the whole of the parts, but the unified blanket over them, right? The thing that attaches these parts together is what you are. Not the parts even necessarily, but that sinew of attachment. That was an idea that kind of was built during that process of understanding Hanakawa, and that to me made a lot of sense, and I think has been like somewhat helpful for me in like trying to understand, you know, self and identity and all these things, right? And so, I mean, and that's why I think Zoku actually, like, I won't tangent too hard here, but Zoku as a story, right, where it keeps giving you information and then revising and changing it, it gives you, like, so many different ways to approach it, and so you get a bunch of different perspectives and then you, of course, reach kind of a conclusion. But that, I think, to me, was a moment of value in these different perspectives, even if they ended up not panning out to be like correct, right? I still got something out of viewing Hanakawa through a, let's say, flawed perspective, right? Even if that wasn't true, I still got something that I found to be valuable. So big win there. She's just my goat, man. Like, what else do I gotta say? Higasa, you're at the bottom. Who even are you? Like, you were like, yeah, you were there. You're in the group photo at the end, so it's like, okay, like, what's good with you? At the end of Ogi Dark or whatever. Was it Ogi Dark, right? That's the one I'm thinking of the right one. Yeah, because it's Kiyomi Reverse is Zoku. Yeah, Ogi Dark. The finale, the end story, but not the continuation of the end, right? Higasa was, I think, in that picture. Otherwise, you were like kind of in, was it Hana that she was in with Kombaru? She was like Kombaru's friend. I don't know. I'll put her above Guillotine Cutter and Dramaturgy, because she seems like, I just don't know. Like, I got nothing to say on you, bro. Senjo Gahara. Senjo Gahara is really good. I don't know if I can put her above Hachikuji. I don't know. Oh my goodness, but the scene with her at the end where Araragi repeats Bake 1 looking up at her is like maybe also the best scene in the show. That's like a contest for that's one of the best scenes in the entire show. That's top 3, right? And that was like so good. And like what makes Senjougahara so brilliant to me is not as much her as a character, but more so like, and you know, I said this is going to be a habit, but more so like how she's used with Araragi, where like, I mean, think about Kiyomi Reverse, right? We don't actually get to see Senjougahara, her like flip side. Like that is such a showing of like Araragi, like I think like respecting boundaries and like not wanting to go there with her, right? And like not seeking to like seek out her other form, and is just kind of accepting her, like he doesn't need to question her, right? Oh my goodness, what is happening with my button? Okay, we're gonna unbutton that. Weird. But no, yeah, the Senjougahara is my goat in that way, right? Where she's like the way she's not used is a piece of really interesting storytelling itself, right? The ways that Araragi will show us something but not show us something with her, right? Like the best example of that is the kiss in Bake, where we don't get to see that, and we don't even get to see like Walk Me Home Gently, that whole meme where they like, you know, them two are gonna get it on. That's something like that we don't really, that Araragi doesn't make a showing of. He doesn't play with that, and like, you know, it's not like some like, oh, look how perverted I am. It's just like, it's something between him and Senjougahara, and that piece of storytelling is like, to me, brilliant. I really have enjoyed that. The way her like emotions have developed through the show, where she's gotten more and more expressive, has been a really fun like underwater character development for her. That makes sense with her origin in frickin' Hitagi Crab. So I've enjoyed that as well. And just serving, her ability to serve as kind of a grounding rod for Araragi, like going to the planetarium or whatever and kind of pulling him forward to college. That little jump forward at the end, oh my goodness, it's so good. It's like low-key, I can't do Hachikuji like that. But like, Hitagi's really grown on me. Senjougahara, I'm gonna call her Senjougahara. Senjougahara's really grown on me as a character, honestly. Like, especially in the last few arcs, right? When Araragi's been in such a crisis, to see how she has been so impactful for him and so important for him, which is shown in the ways largely that she's not shown, has like really been powerful to me. Yeah, she's just goated, right? And also like the way that she kind of destroys the harem idea, right? Where it's like, oh, wide cast of female characters. He immediately gets a girlfriend and is pretty devoted to her the entire time, right? Like that's pretty funny. Kage Nui is, I might even have her under Gon. My thing with Kage, like I feel like Kage Nui just didn't get that much screen time, low key. It's funny because like she was in Suki with like, because it was Ononoki, Shinobu, Araragi, and Kage Nui, right? Or I think it's Suki. I'm so bad with the titles, but the snow one with the ice and that stuff, right? And that's kind of the last time I remember her. I don't even remember that much of what was going on with her then, though. I'm gonna be real, right? I could go back and check, and maybe she was like, if I go back, she spat bars. But I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, as much as my memory's not perfect for all these characters, but like, the less I remember you, the less good of a character you were for me, right? Because the more I've enjoyed your character, the more I remember your character, right? Because I'm more interested, so I'm going to pay more, like, it's going to lock into my brain more, right? And Kage Nui is, I think, kind of been terminally one that, like, I'm always kind of, like, a little unsure of, especially, like, compared to the other balancers, right? Like Oshino, Kaiki, Kage Nui. Like, Kage Nui is the weak link in that trio. And that's a trio there. I mean, Gon's kind of part of that, but she's kind of unique, so I wouldn't even count her. I would say it's the Kaiki, Oshino, Kage Nui trio. Oshino's got a huge buff for being the guy at the beginning of the show, and then also being so important when it comes to, like, the Antarctica stuff, when it comes to the conclusion of Oogie Dark, the help yourself idea, the full circle of that, the full circle of Bake. Oshino's got a ton of value there. Kaiki is just a fun, like, really fun personality, really fun interactions off of Senjougahara. The whole liar's grind set thing is hilarious, right? The Kaiki stride. The bro's got, like, the most meme potential, right? And then also the whole, like, value of a fake thing. His entire interactions with Nadeko were really fire. That's one of the best arcs, probably. Those were all great, right? The Kaiki arc was a great arc, right? probably, like, if there was a character that deserved it, Kaiki really, really aced the role because he has such a personality himself, right? Also, how he like interacts with Araragi is like a interesting. Dare I say, like, I don't know if foil is the right word, but an interesting parallel to Araragi. Kagenui, right? Like, I don't have as much to say, right? I mean, she's like archetypical hero, right? Like the way she plays off of Tsukihi, right? Like the Slayer art thing there, right? How that calls Araragi into question. You know, there's some stuff to say there, but that to me it leaves something to be desired, I suppose. Where it's almost like she serves as a more one-dimensional hero in order to parallel and to give Araragi something to parallel with. And I guess Kaiki maybe serves as like a quote-unquote one-dimensional villain, but then he gets a lot more depth, like especially with Nadeko, that then makes that not the case. He gains depth. And so I guess I've kind of felt that lacking with Kagenui a bit. I think she's still... I'm fine with her saying good character, because she's brought in a lot of interesting ideas. And, you know, her, like... the way that Oninoki like ends up kind of being her personality or whatever, whenever in the mirror world, that's like a, you know, that was like a fun thing as well. It's like immediately recognizable as Kagenui, but I don't know, just kind of left wanting a little bit perhaps with her. Kaiki, really great. Above Senjo, question mark, or no? He hasn't been around in a while. He really hasn't been around in a while. So I got like recency bias with Senju Gahara because of the conclusion was so fun with her character and so good. Kaiki's so fun though. Oh, it's gonna be so hard to rank these people. Like Kombaru, I don't even know where to put Kombaru. I just said a lot on Kaiki when talking about Kagenui, so I'm not gonna repeat all that. Kaiki's just such a goat. What do I do with you, brother? What do I do with you? I guess the question is, like, he's above Gon without any question. Is he above Senjo? He's just so fun. I think he might be. Oh, but I love you, Senjo. I feel so bad. Senjo is so good for Araragi's character. Like, I get more out... Like, when it comes to reflecting to Araragi, I think I prefer Senjo over Kaiki. But as individual characters, I prefer Kaiki over Senjo. Right? Like... If Araragi was out of the picture, Kaiki is way more interesting than Senjo is. But with Araragi in the picture and the way that everything is used with Araragi in the story, I find Senjo to be more interesting. And you can do a lot of cooking with Kaiki and like how he serves as like a, you know, a parallel to Araragi. But I think Senjo and the way she functions and like the showdown or the unshown stuff, I prefer. So it's really hard because those two things are like I'm having to choose between like those two things. Let's just experiment. Let's just feel that out. Does that feel good? Let's go off of intuition for a moment here. I'll take a sip. I think this is sip time. Drinking a sparkling ice berry lemonade. All right, your sip. All right. Ugh. Okay. I didn't make any decisions in that time. Recency bias is really hurting me here with Senjo. This doesn't feel right. I feel like this feels better, but this doesn't feel right. I'm just gonna put Kaiki on top for now. We'll deal with... I don't know. We'll think about it. Kombaru. This music is jamming, bro. Kombaru. What do I do with you, monkey? Monkey girl? Affectionate. Monkey girl affectionate. Dude. I feel like Kombaru is so much more interesting than I even have fully understood. That's what's nice about her, bro. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on a good handful of these characters. Kombaru, I feel like I could really learn more about. Okay, I'm not a freaking tunnel snake, bro. Can we lock in? Like low key, is Kombaru above Kaiki for me? Okay, wait. Kombaru is, I think, above Senjo for me, but Kombaru above Kaiki feels wrong. Is it really here? Oh, is it like that? Did Kombaru just break up my Kaiki Senju Gahara struggle? Nah, I think Kombaru wins out, actually. I think Kombaru beats Kaiki for me, bro. Hana Monogatari, bro. Hana Monogatari cooked. One of my favorite scenes in the show. Low key, if I had to give my top 3 scenes in the show, I think I figured it out. I think it's literally in no order. I don't know the order. I think it's Hanakawa, which me will I be tomorrow. There's so many good ones. Ogi and Araragi deserves to be in there. Okay, top 5. Okay. Hanakawa, which me will I be tomorrow. Ogi and Araragi with the darkness above them, and Araragi can't let her go, and then Ogi heals him. That's probably in there. What else? The repeat of Bake 1 with Senjugahara as Araragi looks up. That might even be my number 1, Loki. I don't know. It can't be my number 1. I don't know. Araragi and Ogi, the Araragi running down the stairs to go help the random girl that we don't know about, and then the Kombaru one, which I was building to, her running after realizing the truth of Numachi, and it was the track playing, the slow zoom out over the landscape, her just running. Her form is bad, but if her form was good, she wouldn't have been able to make it that far. That is such a good idea, right? That random idea there, because she was running purely off of emotion, and if she tried to center herself, that fire, that pain that she was fueling, she would lose, right? But that she was using as fuel, like it wasn't about the freaking optimized movement. It was just running off of emotion, and that is such a that hits me so hard, right? Those are my top 5 in no specific order, right? Kombaru makes it though. That's my point. It's a Kombaru one, a Hanakawa one, a Senjugahara one, and then an Araragi one, and then another Araragi one, I guess. Goated. Kombaru, yeah, you get above Kaiki for that. I think that scene alone almost makes me want to put you above Hachikuji, like low-key on the sleazy, because that scene was one of the most emotional scenes in the entire show. Unironically, I've listened to the track that plays during that scene and shed tears off of the track alone, right? Maybe tears singular. I don't know about tears plural, but anyways, it gets a point just for how poignant that scene was. It might be the most emotional scene for me in the entire show, low key. It's really tough to contest it with the Hanakawa one though. My goodness. I'm fine with that for now. Karen, Mrs. Toothbrush herself. Can we cosplay them? No. Karen, where do I put you? I think Karen maybe makes it to top of good. She just is not on the same tier as Hitagi, bro. As Senjugahara and Kaiki and Kombaru and Hachikuji. She's good. She's really solid, right? Her parallel to Araragi as the Justice Sisters, right? Or the Fire Sisters, right? Proponent of justice, you know? That was fun, and that served as something for us to learn more about Araragi and how he used to be, right? So it was foreshadowing a bit for his character, or just development of his character, right? Through his sisters. And then forward, henceforth, I think she's been around a decent amount, right? She's gotten kidnapped. They adopted Ononoki Loki as their doll. That was a little bit more Tsukihi, I think. But yeah, she's been around, and she's been around in a lot of scenes. But I've lacked a bit of a, I don't know, I guess I'm thinking that she's been in a lot of scenes in recent seasons, but I don't know, there's not been any crazy moments I can speak to with that come off the top. So I think in that way, she serves as a good character, definitely. But she lacks some specific punch in my gut that everyone above has. Even Kaiki, bro. Freaking talking to Nadeko as he's covered in snakes. That and the truth comes out, that whole scene was goated, right? There's so many good scenes. I can think of multiple good scenes for each of the characters above Karen and whatever. Where Karen does have good scenes, her and Araragi reconciling after their fight or whatever was a pretty good scene, right? But I don't know, it's just not, these are on a different level for me. We have all the different kiss shots, but I think we're only gonna do Shinobu, and we'll just have it be all encompassing for that. Mamaragi, I think only makes it okay for me. I don't think she can make it into good, just because of screen time. Above episode, sure, but straight up screen time diff, right? You got a little bit with Hanakawa, I believe, and that was pretty cooking, right? Your idea of being a cop is pretty good. I mean, that I think was really important for Araragi's character. Obviously really important for Araragi's character is what his mother and father are. you know? Which I'm still freaking... Perhaps one of my favorite moments of the reaction of this show was way back when the information first came out, and it was like freaking Karen and probably Tsukihi being like, "Oh, what job do you think our parents have?" And I was like, "What, cops?" And then they were like, "Police officers." I don't know why, but like for some reason, just it like I'm not even trying to say I'm a genius or anything, though I'm not denying the fact. It's more so the idea that like it feels so right? That like for Adaragi's parents and for that family, the Adaragi family, for the matriarch and patriarch to be cops, police officers, it works so well with how the children function, right? It makes so much sense, right? Like intuitively, you know? So that is a big dub for her character, but screen time diff is simply the rest. Screen time diff. Oshino. Bro, these pants keep riding up so much. Like, my goodness. Can I like, Okay, bye. Alright. Oshino. Oshino, you're my goat. I think you might be bottom of really great. You're like the dark horse. You're like the dark horse of the series, bro. You literally are in the opening race and then you disappeared. And then you came back in the final race, bro. That is one of the most based things you can do as a character. You're just like, I'm gonna be in the first season, and then I'm going to spit facts, and then I'm going to disappear and reappear in the last season, or like the second to last season, and then be incredibly relevant, right? That is like one of the most base things you can do as a character. Are you kidding me? And then like his whole thing, like, you helped yourself, Adaragi, or like you finally helped yourself, Adaragi. That line with like Adaragi and Ogi, oh my goodness, it was peak. He's my goat. I really want, like, Bake, I bet Bake is a completely different beast, like, in retrospect, right? Rewatching Bake would be crazy, especially everything he says, right? But yeah, so he's just, that function is one of the most, like, I just love that idea, just to disappear and come back by itself is already a huge buff for his character. Like, I absolutely love that. Yeah, he's my goat. I just need to, my thing with him is that since he was out of the picture for so long, I have less memory of him than I would like, you know? I can't think of as many scenes with him. Especially like, dude, Bake was like a year and a half ago, bro. Like, that's a freaking long time ago. That was 2022 behavior, all right? I'm in 2024 in this recording, you know? Shout out anybody in 2025. Shout out you if you're watching it. Assuming that, shout out you. But yeah, this music, can we calm down? So yeah, but in that way, like, with how him being absent, as much as I like it, it also kind of means he hasn't been here, so that means he can't do as many things. So it's kind of a tough situation. Nadeko. She's tough. She's a tough one. When it comes to like personal enjoyment, like outside of like how she's used as like plot themes, she doesn't really click with me super hard. It's not like I like her personality wise. It's not like I'm really like engaged with her in a way that I think a lot more of the characters that are already on the board, I really like their personalities, especially in like the top half here. Whereas Nadeko, I'm like less there. However, she was used, I think, really well in Atori, if I'm getting the name right, with when she turned into Snake God, right? That I thought was kind of a really unexpected development, and then was really great, like her interactions with Kaiki there. Her like cover from the world, right, where she like her bangs were like the way she avoided the world, and then you cut that off and she has all this like repressed like personality. The Kuchiyanawa personality, for lack of a better term. I think that's pretty fitting. That I find to be like that's some nice depth for her character. I think she just, and then like her aspirations for like the manga artist thing as well, like that's pretty fun as well. Good foreshadowing with the Bake OP and how she's doing the manga there or whatever. That there's a lot cooking with her character in that way. So I can respect all that, though I think I lack a bit of just for like straight up personal like relatability or something like that. Where, for lack of a better term, like it just doesn't click with me as I think it would perhaps with other people, right? So a lot of my the playlist paused. We're on Watashi Ushanaka Tsukiyanana Nai Mono, number 65. 3, 2, 1, bang. But yeah, so in that way, Nadeko, like, as much as I can appreciate her use, um, I don't know. So, bet. Basically, she's the bottom. Okay. Where would she go? She's like a step above Karen. I think she can make it into really great. She probably beats Oshino, loses to Senjukuhara. She beats Oshino because of screen time, I think. Maybe? Man, but Oshino's comeback was so good. But she was pretty much a main character for a bit there, so it's like hard to not give her credit. You know what I'm saying? She loses to Senjo. I think she loses to Senjo for me without too much question. I think Oshino's the harder part. I don't know if she beats Oshino. Oshino was so good because he was gone and it worked so well when he came back. Nadeko was just, she's been present here and there. I think I'll have Oshino beat her. I think my reasoning is in the mirror world, which I guess was our world but mirrored. But mirror Nadeko, I remember just being like I don't know, like mirror, like adult Hachikuji and mirror Nadeko, I felt like their concepts weren't really cooking for me, right? As mirrors, whereas like Hanakawa, there was a lot of cooking going on and it was freaking me out, you know, and like Kambaru and all these things where it's like Nadeko and Hachikuji in that way didn't feel like very super utilized, which is totally fine, right? It's just like because the entire situation was such a mess that it's like, yeah, how is it even going to be utilized? But in that way, I think that like if she was really well utilized in that later instance, I probably would have had her beat Oshino, but I think that's why I'm going to have Oshino beat her, because Oshino is consistently really, really solid for me, whereas Nadeko had a really good area when she got focused on, but then otherwise was more middling for me. So that's probably where I'm at there. Numachi, my goat. Numachi, I just personally resonate with so much. I've said this before. I said it again. I'm a Numachi believer. I'm a Numachi enjoyer. Okay. I know it's not very, like, not a lot of other people necessarily are Numachi enjoyers, but I definitely am, and I'm proud to admit it. Where do I put her? For me, dude, she has the least screen time. I've been talking so much about screen time. She got like no screen time. She got like 4 episodes, bro. But they were goated, and I love her, and I love what she means. And she's just, I look in her eyes and I like see myself a little bit, and that's something that almost more like intuitively, right? On first look, she's the one I think I related to the most, which is crazy, right? Because it's a weird thing. Like if you ever look at, maybe I'm just schizo, okay? Maybe I'm just a little crazy. But whenever I look in like a character's eyes, sometimes I can like intuitively you can feel yourself, you can feel something there, right? Where it's just, you feel that connection or something. Like even looking at the cast here, and it's very much based in very specific images, right? Like obviously, a lot of these are like fan art that are reused. Oh, shout out, I think MX for making this, by the way. Yeah, made by MX. Thank you, MX, for putting together the tier list. Let me just throw that in there. Oh shoot, it was here? I think it was here. But yeah, like there's something about like you looking in the eyes of a character and resonating is something I feel that happen a lot. Maybe other people can understand what I mean by that. Numachi, I felt that a lot, and I still feel that now. Perhaps even more than like Hanakawa. Perhaps even more than like, I'd say the next best would be Araragi or Ogi, where just intuitively I really see myself, and it's something I can't really describe too well because it's not something rational, it's not something logical. It's just purely like on an emotional level. I like really feel myself for pun intended reflected with Numachi, right? So she's goated in that way. I think I'll have her beat Nadeko. I think I'll have her lose to Oshino though. Pretty much due to plot relevance. But because of how much she's also part of one of my favorite scenes with Kambaru, right? The scene where Kambaru learns about Numachi and then runs after hearing about the suicide aspect. That's like the most sad I felt during the entire show. I think I can say that. Most emotionally impacted, top 3, probably. Most sad, 100% number 1. That killed me. That absolutely killed me. And it was because I was so attached to her. So for that reason, she beats Nadeko. But I can maybe have her beat Oshino. I know nobody respect her, so I feel like I gotta do her justice, bro. Oh, but it was so good for Oshino to say, you finally helped yourself, huh, Araragi? Fine. I won't go crazy with Numachi, but she beats Nadeko. Ononoki is probably the character that people like that I understand, that I least understand. I'm gonna be real. Ononoki is pretty good, okay? She's a good character. I think she doesn't make it into really great for me. Maybe barely, I don't know. It's just like, maybe like there. She doesn't beat Nadeko though. She does not beat Nadeko. The thing with Ononoki, personality-wise, it's not for me at all, right? I feel like you had to see how valuable she is. You have to cut through like some annoying stuff on top. You know what I mean? Where it's like her trying to help out Araragi, right, through like some kind of obscure ways, like the way she was like carrying Araragi around on her finger as a way for Kaiki to spot him, and that whole spiel. And then the way that she's kind of his guide throughout Zoku, right, in the mirror business, right? Like, she serves as like a guide a lot. But she, like, you know what I mean? So like she's super relevant. It's just like, I'm never really excited when Ononoki's appearing, right? That's the thing, bro. Hanakawa walks into frame. Hachikuji walks into frame. Hachikuji! Kameru walks into frame. Kameru! Kaiki walks. You know what I mean? I can say that for all these characters up to Nadeko, right? Senjukahara, I'm like, oh, Senjukahara, nice. Oshino, I'm like, oh, Oshino, nice. Dude, if Numachi came back, I would probably piss myself. Nadeko is like, okay, right? It's like, oh, it's Nadeko, right? That's Ononoki. It's Ononoki, you know? So she just doesn't cook for me as much, right? And there haven't been like any crazy emotional moments that she's been like the forefront of for me. So in those ways, like, she serves as a guide. She's super plot relevant. She says a lot of stuff. She presses Araragi a lot, like a good amount here and there, right? So there's like things that she's used a lot, but like I'm never quite like drawn in by the way she's used, you know? She's like a hammer, bro. These are like specialized uber tools, and then she's the hammer that just gets used in like all the time, bro. She's constantly used, but like it's just a hammer. It's like, bro, I've hammered nails a million times. I'm like, not, you know, it doesn't quite get me anymore, bro. Oh my goodness, Ogi and Araragi are next to each other. Did I do that accidentally? That's actually kind of crazy. Am I wrong? Wait, put them at the end. Yeah. Okay. Seishiro. I actually liked Seishiro. Probably right above Karen. Let me think. La 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 la. This is some fun music. Seishiro's tough. Seishiro's weird because it's another like really low plot amount. I found him and Shinobu's dynamic I actually quite was intrigued by, right? The way that Shinobu had to eventually processed Seishiro, right? And man, like the scene of just his jaw, right? And he's like, I don't even remember exactly what he was saying. I think he was maybe calling for kiss shot. But the way that she's like eating him, that was just so sad, right? That was one of the saddest moments, I would say, in the show for me. And him up to that point where he's like this, he's weird. I don't know if he can be above Karen. I think he's above Gaon, but I think he loses to Karen for me. Because Karen's, well, I don't know. Most of why I like Seishiro is because of Shinobu, so I feel like I gotta just stop it there, right? Yeah. But yeah, as a parallel to Araragi, what that means for Shinobu, how it calls Shinobu and Araragi into question, which forces a lot of things to be done in that department. I quite liked those things. Him, personality-wise, I thought was kind of, I don't know, I was kind of into it. I kind of liked his personality. Him talking to Araragi, I always felt kind of scared by him a little bit, right? Where he's like, he was kind of two-faced feeling, so it was kind of hard to get a gauge on his intentions. So in that way, there felt like there was some depth there. I'll probably have him beat Karen, but lose to Ononoki. I think that feels good. Shinobu. Tough. Really tough here. Let me go top to bottom. Loses to Hanakawa, loses to Hachikuji, loses to Kameru, loses to Kaiki. No, unsure about Senjo. Beats Oshino? I think it's weird. She gets used a lot. She's kind of similar to Ononoki in a way, where she gets a ton of screen time. Um, right? She gets a ton of screen time, but I don't. But I don't like pound for pound. I don't think she's super strong, right? Because, and what I mean by that is like for each, she appears a lot in the show, but for how much she appears, I don't think she's incredibly powerful, right? As opposed to like, I don't know, Numachi, who barely appears, but I really liked what I saw. And like Kaiku, who every time he appears, he's like really fun. Shinobu appears a lot, but I don't think she has like that much consistency with that. But she's never really like bad either, you know? Probably somewhere like that, right? Where man, her talk with Kombaru was really good too. I really liked her talk with Kombaru. I feel pretty comfortable with her there, I think. Loses to Senjo beats Oshino. Kind of beats Oshino off of time. She was also my favorite character during Bake, I remember. Right? When we knew nothing about her, she was fascinating to me. So that's definitely a little bit of weight I want to throw in. The way she's kind of developed through Kizu, her being like the most, I would say the most mythological of the cast, right? Kind of a paragon of what it is to be an oddity, I quite like. And that's really been able to, oh my goodness, one of the OPs is playing. Moso Express, bro. Wait, which one is this? Oh, this is the scary version of Nadeko's. This is the Nadeko scary one, bro. Where it was, oh my goodness, this one is scary. I forgot about how scary this OP was. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Shinobi, you just got overwritten. But yeah. Man, this OP actually cooked. Oh my goodness, the OP tier list is gonna be so hard. Okay, Shinobu. Yeah, so I think you lose to Senjo, you beat Oshino for me. I'm pretty comfortable with that, I think. The freaking Shinobu bath scene was crazy, bro. My goodness gravy. Those were some cooking moments, actually. That's what I'm looking for, yeah. Okay, pause. Okay, what I mean by that, let me actually explain. It's not, no. Come on, like, don't clip that. But, like, the moment where, like, the idea of, like, the scene, it's at the end of the bath scene where it's them two laying in the bath and it's, like, all dark. It's not, like, it's, like, a complete, like, tone change and talking about how, like, the inevitability of death and, like, them living together forever, that whole thing. I remember being pretty intrigued by it. Like the way that she's like a sword, like a draw. She's like a draw for Odaraki. She's like a black hole, not the darkness, that like pulls him towards the oddity side, right? Like, so the whole vampirism thing is in her being like the personification of that. That's probably, I think, the reason I would have her above Oshino. Though I'm gonna give Senjo the win over her, I think, because of how much Senjo has grown on me near the end. I think I'm okay with that. Sodachi, what do I do with Sodachi, bro? What? Beats Nadeko, beats Numachi, beats Oshino, beats Shinobu. Dude, it's hard. She's hard. My thing with Sodachi, I love Sodachi. I think, honestly, I think the Mirror World Sodachi tainted her a little bit for me. I was kind of opposed to that a little bit. That didn't feel that, you know what I mean? And so I have to almost take that as like not a reflection of Sodachi, right? Or like, and I know you can explain it as like the regret that either she or Adaragi or a mix of both felt with the home, or with like her not being part of the Adaragi household. So you can kind of explain it away there. But I feel the need to explain that away. Like if I actually like associated that personality with her character, it would lower her character for me, you know? And I've mentioned that before, I think, during the arc. But so outside of that, Sodachi, I think goes above Senjo. I think might even go above Kaiki, bro. Well, no, that's a bit much. I think loses to Kaiki. Beats Senjo. I think I'm okay with beats Senjo because the hate thing was just so powerful. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh my goodness. It was like a completely new type of energy. We've never had that type of energy in the show before, bro. And that was crazy. And then just how depressed she was. And like, one of the best episodes of the show was probably Araragi and Hanakawa in Sodachi's apartment talking to her, and how how her personality changed throughout that. That's probably one of the best episodes in the show. Actually, I'd say it is one of the best episodes in the show without too much question, right? Like the way that like just the part at the end that breaks my heart was when she was like some of the people are coming soon to check up on me. Could you please leave? I'm getting tired, or whatever she said there. Like where she didn't demand them to leave, but she very quietly asked them to leave, very softly asked them to leave at the end. That broke me. That really cut deep, right? Because it really is like a fire. She was like a burning fire fueled by anger, fueled by hate, because she needed to survive, right? And when that hate started to dwindle, when it started to get kneecapped, undercut, all that's left is this very soft, like the embers, right? Where the energy's gone. It's very quiet. It's very like almost fragile. There was something very fragile and soft left underneath that like very loud expression on the outside. And that to me was one of the most like potent character moments in the entire show. I think she beats Kaiki. I honestly might even put her above Komuru. Because that was so good. I'm starting to remember how much I like her character. Could I even put her above Hachikuji? I'm thinking about it, dude. She was so good. The final message to Araragi, right? The riddle where it gets unveiled that she's getting to like she gave her number or whatever. The way that she moves on and Araragi doesn't, and he feels the need to be like, oh, I'm opening the envelope slowly as to show how much I've matured, you know? The way that shows how she's taken a step forward. Those were all just so good for me. That was kind of peak Monogatari. That arc was really, really good, right? Really good Ogi Araragi action. Hanakawa was there. Hanakawa was my goat. Sodachi, that as her introduction, maybe the best introduction to a character in the show. You know what? Probably the best introduction to a character in the show would be Sodachi, I think. Right? Her first arc. She doesn't really have the chance to continue existing beyond that, but she had such a good arc. So, yeah. Do I put her above Komuru is the thing. I think I can, actually. I might even put Kaiki above Komuru. I'm trying to think, like, why do I have Komuru this high? Komuru is so good. Well, Komuru and Shinobu, that discussion was so good. Komuru and Hana was so good. Right? I think I can have Komuru just above Kaiki. I would say, dude, Komuru, Kaiki, Hitagi, these, like, that's a really strong trio, bro. I feel like you couldn't really get in between. I think you either jump the 3 or you lose to the 3. So I'd say Sodachi jumps the 3, beats Komuru out, just because of pound for pound kind of rules. I really, really, really like Komuru, though. I don't think I can put her above Hachikuji, though, bro. Oh, because I'm thinking back to the Hachikuji scene where she kisses Araragi. Actually, one of my favorite scenes in the show. Oh my goodness, my top 5 is in shambles. Maybe that gets in there. That's like the closest I think that's unironically the closest I've been to the pipeline. Right? The pipeline being the joke of like, you know, the whole thing where it's like, oh, at the beginning, you know, lolly kiss shot, you're gonna be like, lollies are gross, but at the end you're gonna understand, you know, that whole idea. I think Hachikuji and Araragi kissing is the most I've ever understood that idea. Where it's like, oh, and it's I didn't understand it because of anything that was going on there. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't no romantic or sexual overtones there for me. Romantic, actually, yeah. No sexual overtones or anything like that for me. But like there was a moment that was like romantic's not quite the right word, but there was a level of romance. It's a kiss, right? But that moment with Hachikuji and Araragi, like, I was like, this is right. This actually feels right to me, right? Because you're saying goodbye to like this playful, childlike part of your life, and that to me was that cut really deep, right? And so to make it into a kiss, right, and then for it to be, I think the translation I read was "I bit my tongue." I think somebody else at one point translated it "I bit your tongue" because they kissed. The "I bit your tongue" moment, was extraordinarily heartfelt to me. And so I think Hachikuji gets to stay in second. I don't think Sodachi can touch that. Not even close. But because of how good Sodachi's arc was, I think I'm willing to put it above Kanbaru. Because, yeah, Kanbaru was like the best side quest. Sodachi was mainline quest because Araragi and Ogi were both there, so. Tadatsuru. Good character. You make it into good. You're above Kage Nui for me because you're more interesting. The doll maker. The living in the world of the dead. That just conceptually is more engaging to me than, like, archetypical hero that just, like, slays immortal monsters, right? Like, this, like, yeah, basically Pog. It also helps, I'm not gonna lie, bro, male characters, since they're so rare, I, like, extra appreciate if they're pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like, Dramaturgy Guillotine Cutter episode barely even count as characters to me. Episode is, like, you know? Seishiro counts as a character. Seishiro's too high. Seishiro... Get down. Seishiro loses to Karen, loses to Gon. Tadatsuru versus Seishiro. I think Tadatsuru wins. Dare I say Tadatsuru... I'd say Tadatsuru just loses to Gon out of plot relevance. And then Seishiro loses to Kage Nui. Because, yeah, Seishiro pretty much is just only important to me as a reflection to Araragi or as a use in Shinobu. At least Kage Nui cooks a little bit on her own and has a little bit more of an identity. She's just kind of one-dimensional to me. Right? Yeah. Tadatsuru is pretty one-dimensional too, but he has a cool dimension. It's a cool look. It's cool, man. I like it, man. Yeah. I'm like looking at my camera. Look at my camera, bro. I feel like my camera looked extra good today. Like low-key on the sleazy. You know what I mean? Alright, never mind. Gon versus Tadatsuru. Tadatsuru wins. Tadatsuru versus Kage Nui. It's tough. It's really tough. I probably have to give it to Kage Nui. It's probably just wrong to have Tadatsuru that high, huh? Beat Seishiro, though. Yeah, as soon as I threw Tadatsuru in, I was like, wait a second, Seishiro's overrated here. I can't even really think of a reason why Kage Nui wins out. I think it's just plot relevance. You're just in the show so much more. And I'm sure the thing with Kage Nui is my memory's not great with Kage Nui, specifically. I think she's probably one of the biggest holes in my memory through the show. Within this cast here, and so that's kind of like a big debuff for her, and I think that's partially that's because she, you know, I'm gonna remember the things that are most interesting to me, right? Like, it's kind of how memory works, I would hope. So that's kind of the debuff there. Tadatsuru just isn't near, so I kind of want to give her a little bit more leeway because I think there's probably some stuff that's really good from her that I'm forgetting, whereas Tadatsuru, I think I pretty much remember everything there, and he's just kind of a puppet along the strings of fate, or Gon, right? So He lacks kind of he's just like he's aware of what's going on, but he's still trapped within it, and that's but that's pretty cool. He beats Kage Nui. That was pretty cool. Where I'm a doll in the thing of fate. That was a pretty cool idea. So I'll have him beat Kage Nui, but I'll have Kage Nui beat Seishiro to give her something. Gon Toei, she got one episode, but what an episode did she get? I mean, wow. I mean, we've heard about her this entire time, and I think she lived up to her expectation. I think I could say top of good. I can't really say really great because we don't get to know her well enough, but she spat bars when she was around, right? The doubt your understanding thing, like I only know what I know and I know everything, and then Gon Toei was like, but you don't understand, like, that there are like, I forget the word she uses, but there are like holes in what you know, right? Or like misinterpretations or something like that. That I found to be a really succinct idea, right? She's just one of the holes for me, dude. I feel like her and Kanbaru, and like Gon Izuko even, and even Kaiki, bro, there's so much stuff going on in that realm. There's like the Gon realm, bro, where there's all this lore happening, there's all this subtext, there's all this nonsense, and I think that is like the big area of the show that I don't understand the most, right? I think I have a pretty decent grasp, all things considered, of a few areas, right? Like Hanakawa, Ogi Araragi, right? I'm feeling pretty good about a lot of that. Gon is one of the things I don't feel great about. I feel like I do not understand that well, which is kind of a good thing because it means that there's stuff there that there's more to be had, right? There's more value there that is untapped. So for me, right, that I feel like has been kind of said, but I haven't been able to quite lock in. So in that way, I want to put her above Ononoki, I think. But I don't think she can make it into really great because she's mostly something other people talk about as opposed to something herself. So it feels kind of weird to put her somewhere. Tsukihi. Tsukihi's around Karen. They're kind of one-on-one in a lot of ways. Low-key, Tsukihi was cooking. I feel like Tsukihi has been getting a lot more action recently, right? Maybe I'm crazy for that, but I think I could put Tsukihi above Karen. I think one thing that comes to mind is the Kiyomi chapter, not the episode, but the chapters we read during Kiyomi. The Tsukihi one I remember finding to be quite interesting, right? About like, I don't remember if it was the flying one or off the beaten path one, but it was something about like I think it was the flying one, right? Oh, because Phoenix, right? So in that way, I remember being like, oh wow, Tsukihi is cooking here, actually, no joke, right? About like kind of avoiding the path entirely or something akin to that. Right? There are rules in front of you, but just ignoring them in a sense. So Tsukihi kind of cooking. Yeah. And then there was the Tsukihi bath scene, and there, I don't remember exactly what was said during that, or if some of the other or what was said outside of that. I don't remember. What I'm saying there is there was dialogue I associate with Tsukihi. I don't remember if it was during the bath or not, but I do remember that there was dialogue I associated with Tsukihi. So that's kind of a buff above Karen, I think. Like, where in the late game, I think she's gotten a lot more relevance and had like a lot more bars spat than Karen has been able to have. Yeah, that's probably where I'd be there. Ogi and Araragi, that save the best for last. Literally save the best for last. This is really hard. The question, I'm gonna just be honest, is the question is Araragi the best character? That's the question. He's the main character without a doubt. His culmination with Ogi Dark was fantastic and one of my favorite things I've seen in media, period. I think I can say that without hesitation, right? And like Hanakawa's moment personally resonated with me a lot. Araragi as a person resonates with me a lot, right? I've made the joke a dozen times, or way more than a dozen. I am Araragi. I've said that many times, right? And I say it for a reason. It's because I resonate with his character in a lot of ways. I think he needs to be the best character. I think him and Ogi need to be the best. I think they need to be. They simply... Araragi, and I'm gonna put Ogi right next to him because it's just... It's one of the things where I'm separating Hachikuji and adult Hachikuji. I'm separating Hanakawa and Black Hanakawa. Araragi and Ogi are like low-key. I could just put Araragi here and you could understand that Ogi's there too, but I'll put Ogi next to him. Because they really are two sides of the same coin, because they're one coin, you know. And yeah, just their dynamic, there's so much to be said about Araragi. There's more to be said about Araragi than any other singular character in the show. Up to this point, I've mentioned his name before I've even had to rank him more times than any other character in the show. It's just Araragi, man. Like, you get into some of the most difficult questions on identity, on justice, on the self, on subjectivity, on objectivity, on dozens and dozens and dozens of things of, you know, I'm thinking to the oddities, I'm thinking to the freaking playground play, the sandbox with the devil face over it, right, and the natural phenomenon underneath. I'm thinking to Hachikuji and play and such. I'm thinking to Hanakawa and the split personality and how that's represented through Araragi and Ogi. I'm thinking to Kombaru, right? Because Kombaru almost, you know, has like a kind of protagonistic energy in her side arc, and how in a lot of ways Araragi kind of can feel like that at times, and Araragi looks different when Hanakawa's viewing him because he's the hero with the sword and the dramatically flared, you know, destroyed clothes, and how Kaiki and how he can be associated to Kaiki, and his relationship with Senjugahara is phenomenal. His vampirism, how he's in a liminal space between human and vampire. He's a half and half. How he escapes it, but then he goes back to it. It's a return. We go back to the beginning of Bake, back to the beginning of his journey. He is where he was so long ago. His position hasn't really changed, right? He's gone back, But so much has still changed, and that is something so beautiful to understand about his character, right? That as much as things don't change, things change, you know? That's what is so great to me about his character, you know? How he finally helps himself, how he refuses to let go of Ogi, how he almost gets tricked into saving Ogi, and the byproduct saving himself, or how he gets tricked into saving himself by saving Ogi because Ogi's an external person to himself. My goodness, genius, right? It's cooking, you know? How Ogi heals him, how there's, like, beneath all of that, there's, like, some level of, like, affection, right? Beneath all that condemning. How Ogi gets left behind, how in Monogatari, Ogi's still in the city, bro, right? How Araragi's the mentor to Kombaru there as he's driving in the car, how we get to see him grow up, the bike archetype, the pushed into the street metaphor, the idea of the street itself, right? Which road do you walk down? The different questions he's asked all the different characters that we read during Kiyomi, the different interpretations of that question. Him in Maoi Hell, thinking about Ogi, talking about Ogi. He's told that Hachikuji's going to be leaving him soon, right? And instead of freaking out about losing Hachikuji, he uses his time to speak about Ogi, right? Like, what an insane moment that is, because he doesn't let go of Hachikuji, but it's almost like a moment where I think he understands he's going to lose he's at risk of losing Hachikuji again, but the question bugging him of Ogi, the question bugging him of himself, of that dark shadow, that reflection he sees in the mirror, that question needs to be answered. It needs to be discovered. It needs to be dealt with, right? And so he speaks to Hachikuji, this, like, source of young, divine, youthful wisdom, and he uses it then. I mean, I could keep going. I could keep going forever, right? There's so much to say on Araragi Kiyomi, and he is a goated character. He's the best character in the show, I think I could say. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, because favorite, I love Hanakawa. I'll put Hachikuji up here, I think. I think I can do it. Sodachi, I think I don't want to do. I think Sodachi doesn't quite make it. But, yeah, I think those four are really, or three, for lack of a better, are really my goats of this show. Everything I see through Araragi as much as I see through itself, right? I've always, every time I think of a character, I think of them, and then I think of how they attach to Araragi, right? And that's just grown and grown, right? Man, Aversion Eyes Andy, I didn't even mention the Aversion Eyes thing, how he's constantly being forced to see things, because he keeps trying to look away. He's like a dog. You put something in front of a dog, they're always like, huh? He's literally like that all the time, right? How his Ogi self is giving him all these answers, giving all these clues. Him and Ogi and Hanakawa are giving Araragi all these clues about what's happened to Sodachi, and he doesn't want to admit it, but he knows it, right? Everything Ogi knows because Araragi knows, right? The mystery element, how it was such a mystery to uncover what Ogi is, and the idea that Ogi is Araragi is so good. I mean, it literally flies into conscious what he says about Ogi is Ogi. Ogi Yoshino is just Ogi Yoshino. No, you dip. You are Ogi, and Ogi is you. Because Araragi is Ogi, and Ogi is Araragi. I mean, it's so perfect. There's just so much to be said about this man, about this character, the way that he deals with themes that I've never seen represented in media, that are topics that I've battled with myself, and literally have been battling with during the show, right? Like, that's what's so brilliant to me about this show, bro, is that it deals with things that I've never seen before dealt with. It deals with ideas of the self, of justice, of so many things that have been, like, torturing me, dude, for months and months and years, you know? And to see it represented through this like, esoteric show, right? The way it deals with things is so strange, but I almost feel like it couldn't quite do it any other way. And that's really, like, the brilliance of this show to me, like, beyond anything else. And I think the character beyond any character that brings that about is Araragi, right? He's almost the narrator. He's the narrator. He's almost the writer of the show, right? Like, oh, this is bad writing, like, forehead, right? Like, he really is the guy that when the show is being shown to me, I almost imagine that Araragi is telling it to me. And that to me is just so brilliant. So, I think that, yeah, Let's just do a quick test run through. So Araragi and Ogi on top, that feels right. Hanakawa, Hachikuji also in best character. I think I'm happy with that. So Dachi, pound for pound, was really brilliant. Maybe one of the best arcs. We'll have to do the arc tier list, but I really, really liked Sodachi. Kombaru is kind of like my favorite. Like, I really ended up liking Kombaru. Kaiki, Senjo. I'm glad Senjo's getting some respect. Shinobu, I do like Shinobu. She's kind of weird. I think this is the break. I would almost want to put a break between Senjo and Shinobu here. But I do really like Shinobu, so she's still, I think, but like, Senjo or Shinobu, Oshino, Numachi, Nadeko is a way different group of 4 than Sodachi, Kombaru, Kaiki, Senjo. You know what I mean? We got 2 groups of 4 here, bro. It's funny, we kind of have the same thing in the second half here, where we have 3 of the balancers next to each other, Ga and Tadatsu, or the specialists next to each other, Ga and Tadatsu and Kagenui, and then Seishiro, who's like kind of, you know, just there. Ga and Nadeko, yeah, I'll let it slide. Onanoki, I'm fine with. Tsukihi, Karen, I think Onanoki can be above, but definitely loses to Ga and Toei. Ga and Izuko, you're probably actually getting disrespected. I think I can put you above Onanoki and Tsukihi and Karen. You're so important. You're like the machinery of how the story continues, right? Where like, yeah, like you're planning and you're doing all these things behind the curtains. So I feel like I gotta give you respect for that. And you're annoying. That's something I don't feel a lot, right? So I'll give Gon more respect. Gon versus Onanoki, maybe. I mean Gon beats the Fire Sisters. Does Gon beat Onanoki? I think I'll have Toei beat Gon Izuko because I really like Toei's kind of representative of like this entire abstract thing that I find really interesting, and then also her appearance I thought was really good. Gon Izuko, I mean, you killed Araragi. You beat Onanoki because you killed Araragi. Onanoki, Tsukihi, Karen, I feel good about. Tadatsuru, Kagenui, Seishiro. I almost want to drop Tadatsuru, Kagenui, and Seishiro to OK, but I think they're good. They're definitely good. OK is way different, because Mamaragi and Episode are way different. And then Mamaragi Episode, Higasaki, Teen Dramaturgy. Okay. I think it's good. I think it's really good. Now, we do, we'll probably be pretty quick with the next 2. The waifu and best friends. Alright, well, let's actually look at my last tier list. So, is this my most recent one? Post-Koi. I was in a suit? Why was I in a suit? This guy. Oh, that's the last one. Okay, no, what's your one? Okay, so you have Hanakawa, Hachikuji, Kaiki, Araragi, Senjo, Kombaru. I'm like flipping. I'm just gonna, I did it a bit better the last, okay, wait, so Kombaru, I had Hachikuji, or Hanakawa on top, and then Hachikuji. Those 2 stayed the same, but Araragi and Ogi jumped over. Kaiki slipped. Oh, Sodachi and Kombaru. Sodachi wasn't in yet. Kombaru jumped up a spot for me. Numachi versus Shinobu stayed the same. Ogi moved up a ton. Ogi got moved up a ton. Nadeko stayed about the same. Oshino moved up quite a bit. I think it's pretty, dude. I think this is pretty the same, actually. I think I stayed pretty stable, like low key. And then the way last one, I had Shinobu on top and then Hachikuji. Hachikuji's been the most consistent, bro. Hanakawa became the GOAT after Tsubasa Tiger. Hachikuji's been the GOAT the entire time. She's been my grounding rod, bro. My grounding Kuji. My Hachikuji. Hachikuji! My beloved, bro. That's so great. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay. Waifu. Yikes. Okay. Let me do best. Best, waifu. Great. Gora. Mera. Bad. Okay. How do I even... So waifu would be like wife, right? Kind of. Okay, so Araragi's my male wife, right? Okay, let's run it back. Adult Hachikuji... The way she was interacting with Araragi is like, can we calm down a little bit? My goodness. But she makes it to great. Araragi is like... this is weird. Dramaturgy's bad. Episode's bad. Guillotine Cutter's bad. Gon's bad. Get away from me. Hachikuji, good. Waifu feels so strange to put onto Hachikuji, though. I don't really remember what I mean by waifu. That's my problem with the word waifu, bro. I never know how to define it, so I always feel strange with it. I like best friends. Best friends is easy. Wait, let me think. How do I want to define... What makes a good waifu? I don't know, no. It's like I don't want to wife anyone, bro. I want to wife everyone. No, I don't. Run it back. Because if we do... Oh, wait, my music stopped? Dowsing. Play. Nadeko, can you calm down? She looks so strange in this shot. Look at the way her, like, sock is coming out of her shoe. Oh, the Kuchiyanawa band? That's pretty sick. Okay, well, I just accidentally opened my tabs. I'm trying to figure out if I need to hide this. No, I think we're fine. Okay, bad. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Trust. Ugh. Okay, best waifu. Don't get distracted. Yeah, okay, I think what we're gonna do, a good waifu, it's kind of a wife thing. It's kind of a wife thing, right? So this will include, like I think we can include, like, some level of, like, attractiveness or whatever. I think we can just bite that bullet here, right? In which case, Hachikuji's in meh. I'm sorry. Adult Hachikuji gets to go in great. Hanakawa is top. Black Hanakawa, drops a tier because you're crazy, and I like my integrated behemoth Hanakawa, god among men Hanakawa. Higasa... Meh. Senjugahara, I think goes into great. I think I'd say above adult Hachikuji. Hachikuji for me, as a character, even adult Hachikuji, doesn't really feel waifu. It just feels like friends. I just want to hang out with Hachikuji. I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to have anything romantic or anything like that. It's just straight up, like, that's my goat Hachikuji, right? Whereas, like, Hanakawa is, like, perfect in, like, every way. Like, Hanakawa is my goat, right? So, it's a bit different in that department. Can, like, my hair, like, lock in for a second? Like, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Good enough. Okay, bet. And then, yeah, Black Hanakawa is just crazy. I think Senjugahara gets to be in top of great above Black Hanakawa. Adult Hachikuji, you're just good for me, I think. Kage Nui. I mean, step on me, I guess, but, like, not really. Kaiki is, with Araragi. Higasa is just gonna move a little bit. Kombaru is kind of just good. Like, not really my thing. Like, Tomboy is not really my thing as much, right? Not really as much to say there. Beats Kage Nui. I'd say beats adult Hachikuji. Karen, too young. And kind of, like, not my energy. So, I'd put you in bad. I'd put Araragi, you're crazy, bro. You're not a waifu. Kaiki gets to make it into meh. Araragi, I'm sorry. We'll see if Ogi changes my mind. Teen Kiss Shot. I don't really remember... What's teen? Which one's teen? MILF is... I remember MILF. Adult... Teen... Okay, teen's the second youngest form. Wait, let me just do these by age. Okay, so... There we go. MILF first. Probably there. Probably like this first, right? So, Hanakawa, then Senjo, then Adult Kiss Shot, then MILF Kiss Shot. Adult Kiss Shot was like, I think like 20s, like young 20s, right? And then MILF was like, obviously MILF energy. Both are great. I would slightly prefer 20s because that's my current age range. So, I'd prefer that over MILF, but I still appreciate MILF a lot. Noki on the Shleezy. So, I'm good with that. Teen was like, I think that's a pretty young teen, so you're gonna draw. Do you beat Kaiki? Does Teenage Kiss Shot beat Kaiki? I'd say Luzutsu Higasa. Hachikuji I can say beats Higasa, I'm fine with that. It's just like, well, I don't know, Kiss Shot's kind of weird. Like, I almost want to actually drop, well, Black Hanakawa is weird too. Low key, drop all of these hoes. I'm actually thinking, like, personality-wise, like, what is even going on with Kiss Shot? You know what I mean? I don't know, like, she's just not as much my energy, like Shinobu as a character, right? Wouldn't really be my waifu energy as much as, like, a Hanakawa, so, as to, you know, in comparison. And so even, like, adult Kiss Shot, which would probably be, like, prime Kiss Shot, like, for me, would be, like, maybe I do this, maybe this. Black Hanakawa is just a crazy cat. I mean, she doesn't bathe. She's a cat. She's gonna smell bad, bro. Drop her. Drop her to bottom of good. Kage Nui probably also smells bad. Adult Hachikuji, Probably above Black Hanakawa. Kombaru above Adult Hachikuji. Because Adult Hachikuji was weird. We only got to see her, like, playing around. Like, a bit strange to me. Not my energy. More my friend energy, not my waifu energy. Adult Kiss Shot, MILF Kiss Shot. We're back here. It's just, like... Teen Kiss Shot would just be so weird. It'd be so strange. I think you just have to stay in meh. Higasa, I don't know you. And then Lolly, I just... Yeah, no. Sorry, it is what it is. Mamaragi, good. Beats Kage Nui. Black Hanakawa at least is a cat girl, so that's kind of funny. I'd say Black Hanakawa moves up for being a cat girl. Loses to Kombaru, though. Nah, beats Kombaru. Kombaru beats Adult Hachikuji, though. Mamaragi definitely above Kagenui, loses to Adult Hachikuji. They got the same energy, low-key. Mamaragi and Kagenui got similar energy, but Kagenui, I don't know. Mamaragi looked kind of fine in that suit. Alright, I'm gonna say it. Police officer is a plus for me. That's actually, I'm into that. Fun fact. Alright, Ashino. Yeah, he's kind of a move. Like, if I had to get a body pillow between Oshino and Kaiki, I'd choose Oshino, probably. Well, or, I don't know. It's actually... Kaiki I would do as a meme. Oshino I would do slightly more genuinely. But I also, both are in meh. So, take what you will. Nadeko's... Yeah, no. Numachi. Oof. Oof. Numachi, though. Wait, let me organize my bottom. Episode go up. Dramaturgy go down. Guillotine Cutter go above Dramaturgy. Araki beats Lolly Kiss Shot. Lolly Kiss Shot goes... Karen... Karen beats Lolly Kiss Shot. Nadeko, I think, loses to Lolly Kiss Shot. Crazy sentence. Gone... I'll put Gone in bottom of meh, I think. Araragi, I'm sorry, but, like, I could never. It is what it is, okay? Episode beats Kaiki, loses to Oshino. Kaiki beats Gone. Teen Kiss Shot, I'm kind of fine. I just don't really remember what Teen Kiss Shot looks like. I'm trying to remember in my head. I think she's straight up, isn't she like 13? Like, when a teen is 13 to 19 is a crazy gap. So I don't really know where to put her, bro. So I'll probably say there. Numachi. Like, I love Numachi, dude. It's kind of an I can fix her. Hanakawa is fixed, and I love her. Numachi is an I can fix her, and I love her. Dude. Low key. I don't know what's wrong with me. What's wrong with me? I actually feel like I'm sick. I'm sick in the head. Why does Numachi feel like number one for me? This can't be right. It has to be Hanakawa. Rationally, it has to be Hanakawa. I think emotionally it might be Numachi, but rationally it has to be Hanakawa. It's just better. It's just a better move, right? Numachi is... I can fix her. You prefer fixed over I can fix her. It's just better for your own health. But Numachi is like prime I can fix her. Oh my goodness. I love Numachi. Alright. Ononoki. Bad. Ononoki beats these guys. Do you even make it past Nadeko? I think you can lose. I think you can beat Nadeko, lose to a Kiss Shot. Ogi. Oh my goodness. Put Ogi at the end. Seishiro. Just below episode, probably. Yeah, Shinobu herself. Probably like here. It's crazy. I would say Lolly Kiss Shot is a way different energy than Shinobu. I would say Shinobu makes it into meh. Lolly Kiss Shot just felt strange to me. I don't really... It was Kizu. Kizu was strange to me. What a strange art. I need to rewind. Like, that's one of the ones that I feel like I was least there for. I was not in the room, low-key. I would say Shinobu gets to... let's see. Does Shinobu beat Gon? Yeah. Beats Kaiki, yeah. It's crazy. I almost feel like Shinobu beats Teenage Kiss Shot, which doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. I'll just have it right there, I think. Oh, Sodachi. Oh, frick, that's hard, too. Put Sodachi at the end. Todatsuru. This music. Ryotu Dabi. Todatsuru gets to go in the men category. This music is like melting my brain. What is happening? I feel like I'm losing my brain focus. I think Tadatsuru loses to Kaiki, and then Kaiki beats Seishiro and episode. Yeah, that feels good. Gon Toei is mad MILF energy, so goes into MILF tier. Honestly, adult kiss shot, then Gon Toei, then MILF kiss shot. Gon Toei was just powerful woman. She knows what she wants, bro. I respect that. MILF kiss shot was a nugget on the ground bleeding out. Little less powerful. Adult kiss shot, more age. Low key, kiss shot gets beaten by Gon Toei. I don't even care. Sanjo Gahara beats Gon Toei without question, though. Tsukihi beats Karen. I'll let Tsukihi and Karen beat Araragi. Ogi and Sodachi. Oh, frick. Sodachi's also, I can fix her. The question is, am I coming at it from Araragi's perspective because I am Araragi, or am I coming at it from, like, more objective? But she obviously hates Araragi. Or, like, that was, like, kind of the thing there. I'd say, let's say current Sodachi, so we kind of bypass that. Somewhere in here. Ogi's somewhere in here, too. Let's figure it out. Okay, so I think Sodachi and Ogi both beat Gon. Ogi, well, Ogi's tough. Put Ogi somewhere. I don't know where to put Ogi. Ogi, go down here for a second. Sodachi. Things are falling apart. Senjo is just good. She's not quite I think she's just, my personality and Senjo's personality don't quite click, but I love Senjo. I can rationally accept Senjo really, really hard, but like, individually, super subjectively biased, it's less of a click for me. Sodachi versus Numachi. They got energy. They got energy, okay? This is like what we're looking for here. Like they are the type of people that like I want to like fix. I can fix her, bro. I want to take care of these two. I want to take care of Numachi. I want to take care of Sodachi. I want to help them. I want to help them with all my heart. And that to me is factored into waifu stuff because I'm probably unhinged a little bit. Okay, it is what it is. All right. Ogi is really hard. I think Numachi beats. Which brand of person do I want to fix? Oh my goodness, Numachi scares me. I'm looking into Numachi's eyes and I'm actually getting scared. Frick. Hanakawa's simply the best option. That's no contest. We can't disagree with that. Hanakawa's the best option. So that's stable. We're stable there. We're in second to third place. Numachi, Sodachi. Both are cheese, bro. Something about that chi energy, bro. Hachikuji, low-key. Think about it. But no, chi with a CHI. Sodachi, Numachi. Oh, I love them both so much. I love tortured people. I love people that are in incredible pain. I love that because I want to help them so much. And that makes me emotionally invested so hard. I'd probably give it to Sodachi. My reason being that Sodachi, we get to see some progress in the I can fix her idea with like her moving on, getting some forward movement, learning to like let go of that hate a little bit and like survive despite letting go of that a bit. So there's potential there. Numachi, I feel like we got less potential of because so much more of that was focused. Like there was so much going on in that arc. But Sodachi, I feel like we got a clearer cut. There is like forward progress happening. Where Numachi more so is like, I mean, Numachi's also dead, so like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a harder situation there. But personality wise, I'm gonna give it above Senjo. All right, Ogi. Ogi loses to Hanakawa. Ogi loses to Sodachi. It's kind of like my shadow. It'd be like I'm kind of almost playing with it like being my shadow because I am Araragi. Loses to Numachi. I think I can do this here. I think I can do there. I think Ogi loses, or I think Ogi can beat Kiss Shot for me because Kiss Shot kind of just not quite my energy. Not quite my energy. Does Gon Toei win out over Ogi? I think it feels wrong, but I think it's right. Alright, Gon Toei had the craziest energy walking into that bath, okay? And it's like, yeah, I'm there for it, okay? Am I wrong for that? Perhaps. Am I going to be upset? No. Am I going to accept myself for it? Yes. It's all about acceptance, okay? No more aversionize Andy. Senju is just simply too good of a move to not have above her, though. Ogi, on the other hand, I think beats Kiss Shot, because Kiss Shot just not quite my energy as much. I like the idea of, like, waifuing your shadow self. That seems really fun. The part of, your dark reflection. That's goated. I simply am there for it. So, basically Pog. Best friends list. Wait, no, okay, wait. I have to look at the waifu list. Okay, waifu time. Last time, Hanakawa on top. Eira. Oh, I had Numachi in second. Wait, I actually am so proud of myself. Okay, and then Senjo. Hanakawa, Numachi, Senjo. Yeah, so Dachi was new, so she climbed up, but that top 3 stayed the same. Then I had Higasa. Okay, that does not deserve to be there. And then Black Hanakawa, and then Kombaru. Black Hanakawa, then Kombaru. And then Shinobu Ogi. Ogi moved up. Which makes sense given we got so much more. And then Shinobu. I only had Shinobu here, so it's kind of like a difficult situation. Is Shinobu really below Mamaragi and Kagenui? I don't think so. I think I can do this. I think I can do that. I think I'm fine with that. I'm a bit scared of the pipeline, but I think I can accept that. It's weird. It's just weird. It's just kind of strange to me. I think Kagenui falls, actually. Kagenui is not my energy. And, like, low-key Mamaragi falls, too. And then we have Gon and Tadatsuru. And then Tadatsuru there. Gon, Tadatsuru. Yeah, Tadatsuru does not deserve to be in meh. Is this it? I think this is better. Yeah. Because it's obviously a debuff. It's obviously a pretty big debuff here, but we gotta kind of make some moves there. Okay. The past tier list is helping me out. Okay, the past tier list is helping me out. And then I have no thank you for adult Hachikuji. Oh, okay, so there was just Hachikuji here. So Hachikuji, I have a no thank you. Hachikuji is moved up a bit. Well, Hachikuji kind of maxed out. I guess even then I was kind of apprehensive about having Hachikuji pretty high up. And then, yeah, most of the other people down here are still down there. So I'm glad that Adaragi... Is that the same? It's the same Adaragi picture. That's kind of funny. But yeah, okay. Best friends tier list time. All right. This is the fun one. This is the fun one because I get to just do it fast and be happy. Really good friends. Okay, good friend. Meh. Stay away from me, please. Alright! Araragi Hachikuji, really good friends. Araragi, good friend because you're crazy and you're me, and I would see too much of myself in you, and that would scare me off, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, good friend. Dramaturgy, stay away from me, please. Episode, you're insane. Stay away from me, please. Gon, stay away from me, please. You're just annoying. Ginti Cutter, stay away from me, please. Hachikuji, go red, best friends. Hanakawa, go red, best friends. Black Hanakawa, good friend only. You can't really be friends with her because she's crazy and she's just gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Just go drain your energy, right? Energy drain. Higasa, meh. Senjo. I could see a really good friends with Senjo. She's a little bit of a, she's gotta grow on you a little bit, but I think she would grow on me. Hachikuji to Hanakawa. Am I fine with that? Is Hachikuji my best friend? Or is Hanakawa my best friend? Both would be so good. I think Hachikuji gets to be my best friend. Adult Hachikuji, I just didn't like her energy as much, man. It just didn't feel right to me. You know what I mean? It was like a different character a bit, right? It was like, because it inverted the dynamic. And that was kind of strange to me. I don't know. I think I'm actually going to have it to be a debuff for her to be an adult. That sounds really weird. Oh no. That sounds really strange, but it is what it is. Speak your truth. This is the best friends list, okay? Don't look at this too closely. Kagenui. Stay away from me, please. Kaiki. I'd get a drink with Kaiki. Kombaru. I'd be good friends with Kaguru. Karen. Meh. And then we have the kiss shots. Friends with benefits? No. Hachikuji above Hanakawa, I think I'm good with. Let me look at this a little closer. Senjo to Kombaru. Low key, I think Senjo beats Kombaru. I think she's grown on me that much. I think that's a change, but I think I can do that. Araragi, I think I'm fine there, and then yeah, I think I'm fine with this so far. Okay, the kiss shots. I would find it weird. Actually, low key feel like I could be pretty good friends with Shinobu. I think she's kind of fun actually. So let's say okay, MILF first, then adult. MILF kiss shot. Oh my goodness, a really good song is playing. Is this the ED one? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Dude, the song tier list is actually going to be so fun. The OP-ED tier list, that's going to be so fun. That's going to be such a blast of the past. Man, I'm getting excited now. What? I think I'd be better friends with Kiss Shot than Kombaru. Loki, Senjo. Honestly, am I crazy for this? I think I might be. I'm thinking like adult first, then MILF. Then teen, then probably a bit of a debuff for Lolly, because I would just get, I would get weird, like, it's just a little weird to me. I just got weird energy with her when she was that small and acting weird. A bad taste in my mouth. Teen is a bit better, but I still prefer MILF and adult. Hitagi, Sanjogahara versus Teenage Kiss Shot. It's tough. It's like, who would I rather go and get drinks with? Or, like, hang out with, you know? Like, I'm getting blown up on my phone. It's like, who do I want to hang out with? Kiss Shot, Sanjogahara, or Kombaru? It'd be like... Dude, I think it would be Senjo. I think Senjo beats out, and then Kiss Shot, and then Kombaru. Let me throw Shinobu in here. Like, right here. Yeah. Honestly, that... Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay. Mamaragi, just meh. Like, I don't know you. Beats Higasa. No, Higasa gets to be the queen of meh. Oshino. Oh, Oshino I'd hang out with. I'd be real good friends with him. Bet. Yeah. Not as much as Kiss Shot, maybe. Nah, better than Kiss Shot. Loses to Kombaru. Beats Lolly Kiss Shot. Nadeko? I'm singing. It's the song Trust. Nadeko... Meh. Like, do I want to play Twister with you? No, that's strange. That's a strange situation entirely. But you're kind of chill. I'll put you actually... Oh... You know what, Nadeko? I clown on you too much. Maybe. Maybe you deserve to be a good friend. Nope. I tried. I really tried to manifest that one. It just couldn't work. I'm sorry. Karen beats Nadeko. Nadeko beats Mamaragi. Numachi. I don't think Numachi makes it this high, actually. I don't... Like, Friends doesn't feel right with Numachi. Like, Numachi's different for me. I don't know about Friends. I really think it would be... Like, I'm emotionally invested in her more than I am a friend invested in her, right? So I would say, like, do I want to hang out with Numachi? No, she'd just be depressing, bro. So loses to honestly, top a good friend. I'm sorry, Numachi. Like, do I want to hang out with you? No, I want to fix you. That's not a hangout friend situation. That's a fix situation. You know what I mean? Ononoki, you're a meh. You're such a meh. You know how to stay away from me because well, nah. You're a good friend. Above Araragi, Ononoki looks out for you. Ononoki actually a real one. It's just personality-wise, it doesn't work for me. But she actually a friend. Yeah, she's a good friend. Give Ononoki some credit there. Ogi. Ogi's scary. You don't want to be friends with Ogi. Ogi will hurt you. Meh. Good friend. All right. Well, it's just tough. Like, I don't know, bro. Ogi is such a problem. Like, you can see, Honokawa to Black Honokawa is a debuff. I think Ogi's a debuff to Araragi. I think I'd rather hang out with Araragi than Ogi. Because that's entirely what makes Ogi so interesting is it's, like, scary, right? It's not exactly hangout material. So in that way, like, I'm thinking Ogi... Maybe... Do I really want to hang out with Higasa over Ogi? No, get her in good friend. Seishiro... You're kind of antiquated. I think loses to Mamaragi, but I'll give you a meh, because I'm not... Wow, you're kind of a murderer, though. Like, you're a samurai, man. You're, like, way different energy. I don't want to hang out with you. You're like Kage Nui. Yeah, go under Kage Nui. Tadatsuru, meh. I have no opinion on you. Gon Toei, I don't want to be friends with you. I want to with you. You drift? Oh, it's the Kaiki thing. It's Kogarashi sentiment. Senjo and Kaiki are singing in my ears right now, bro. Yeah, Gon Toei I'm, like, interested in different ways. So, you'd be cool to hang out with, actually, unironically. Yeah, actually, you get to be really good friends. You'd actually be, like, cool. I'll move Karen up. I'll move Tsukihi up with her. Na, 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 na. Yeah, I think Tsukihi beats Karen for me, but I'll have both of them there. And then Ogi beats both of them by nature of being interesting, right? Even if you're a dick and you're a problem, at least you're an interesting dick and an interesting problem. Right? So, Dodgers. Wow, that's a hard one. I think we can do this. Let me just put Adult Hachikuji there in a best friends so we kind of get a nice 3. Sodachi's really hard. I almost want to put Sodachi in best friends because I'm like, it's one of those things. Like, I'm emotionally invested in Numachi and Sodachi. They're so similar, but they're so slightly different that I'm like, I want to fix both. But Numachi's like, oh, but Sodachi's so mean. But no, we got progress for Sodachi, so I feel like hanging out with Sodachi now, she would just be very, like, reserved. But I can't do Senjo like that. Senjo low-key is so funny. I actually feel like Senjo gets to be in best friends tier. She'd be so fun to hang out with low-key. Especially now that she's, like, gotten a lot more expressive and, like, grown a lot more. It should be so fun to go to the planetarium with and she tells me about stars and shit. Bro, I'm there. Yeah. And then Sodachi, so I think it's Sodachi versus the Kiss Shot Shinobu area, right? In which case, would I rather want to hang out with Sodachi or Kiss Shot and Shinobu? It's tough. It really is. So Shinobu would be more fun. Period. Alright. Sodachi loses. Okay. Sodachi versus Kombaru. Kombaru would be more fun. Kombaru would be unhinged. Yeah. Though I think Sodachi beats Oshino for me. I think that's actually good. Hachikuji Hanakawa. That's right. Hachikuji gets to be my best friend. Alright? Hanakawa is my goat. Adult Hachikuji, it doesn't feel, you know what I mean? The energy was a bit off, but still Hachikuji, so I'll let it slide. Hitagi Senjogohara, really fun to hang out with, really cool, good energy, funny. We've seen her pull some jokes, alright? She's like the dark horse in a friend group, bro. She will randomly be so funny and you will never expect her. Shinobu / Kiss Shot, I feel like she got good energy, actually. She's playful, she's fun, she's annoying. We go eat donuts, bet. Kombaru would be fun to, like, be unhinged with, drink with, party with. Sodachi, reserved. I want to take care of you, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want to hang out with you. I want to make sure you have a good time, right? Oshino, fun to drink with, good drinking buddy. Lolly Kiss Shot, just worst version of the other ones. Gon Toei, she spat facts. Bro. She's like a mentor, bro. Numachi, just so, like, would ruin your mood, bro. It'd be so hard to be friends with her because she would just tank your mood, but I love her. I would be friends with her as hard as I could, and it would hurt me. And so it's like, I shouldn't be friends with you because it's hurting me, but I'm trying to take care of you, you know what I mean? I'll let you into really good, I think. I think I can let you into really good, but it's like, ow, you know? And then Oninoki, she watch out for you. Araragi, he will watch out for you too, but homeboy's struggling. And then, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, I think, about the rest of these. Kaiki pretty funny, too. Let me do, like, really great friend. And then, like, good friend. Yeah. Fast love. I mean, this is good. Ogi, I feel like Ogi and Araragi I'm doing a little dirty, and Kaiki. But then I look at the next tier, and it's like, this entire cast is goated, bro. I want to be friends with most of the cast. I'll put really good friend here. Oh, but then Tsukihi and Karen don't quite fit. Yeah, let's do this. Let's move Tsukihi and Karen down to Meh, and then have it be really good friend. Just with the understanding that Tsukihi and Karen I'm pretty chill with. But, like, I'd totally hang out with any of these 5, too. You know, it's just a different tier. Because this cast is pretty goated. But yeah, like, I'm not trying to hang out with your little sisters, Adaragi. That's just strange, okay? If I wasn't their sibling, it would be weird to be around them, you know? So, I think that's good. I think that's good. Alright. Best friend Hachikuji has done it. Welcome, Hachikuji, to my best friend circle. So that was our character tier list. Very fun, right? Okay, Fast Love, I'm gonna need you to take a little pause real quick. Oh my goodness, I love you, Sundagahara. Yeah, so that was our tier list. That was our triple little tier list extravaganza. Oh wait, no, I need to compare to the last one. That's what I was forgetting. I was like, what am I missing? Oh, I didn't do a best friend tier list on the first one. So it looks like we have, wow. I gave Hanakawa, I put Numachi really high here, bro. But look, I get Hanakawa, then Hachikuji. I think I'm gonna give it to Hachikuji. Shout out Hachikuji. You've just been so consistent for me. Numachi I put really high. I had to drop Numachi just because I think it's like, bro, Numachi's depressing. Numachi's depressing. That's character growth for me. I realize that Numachi's depressing. Kambaru, Shinobu. Oh, and then I have adult Hachikuji here. Oh, I must have, in the waifu one, had both Hachikujis in the bottom tier. Would love to be your friend. Senjugahara moved up a lot. Oshino moved up quite a bit. Senjugahara moved up the most out of everyone. It looks like Black Hanakawa got a little bit of a move up. Karen fell a little bit, it looks like. Though Karen and Tsukihi, I actually put Tsukihi above Karen here, where I did the opposite on the last one. I think I would hold that. I think I would maintain that still. And then a lot of these other ones. Ogi at the bottom for bad end. Ogi moved up. Ogi's grown on me, bro. Ogi's grown on me. Ononoki moved up a lot, too. All things considered. Ononoki was last place. Now Ononoki's middle. Good job, Ononoki. I'm proud of you there. Nadeko stayed pretty low. Expected. Yeah. I think Shinobu's last kiss shot kind of had a move up. I moved her above Kambaru, which is a little different. I think I've just kind of realized, like, she just does a pleasant time around Adaragi a lot of the time. She's very, like, they just kind of hang out a lot, right? If you really look at a lot of the scenes, I feel like it's just them, like, having a good time with each other. And she's kind of annoying, but in a playful way that I would find it endearing. So I think I'd totally be friends with her. Kambaru is in the kind of, this is like the tier. It's like up to Sodachi is kind of one grouping, you know? And I mean, 4 of them are literally just Shinobu, so it's kind of a weird spot, but yeah. So I think the most change was in the best friend tier list, honestly. Numachi took a huge fall. Numachi fell. Oh, look at all these characters got in front of Numachi. It's just, dude, you're just not fun to hang out with. And I love you and I want to take care of you. You're not fun to hang out with, okay? That's fine. I'll still be your friend. We're really great friends, okay? And low key, if we could fix you, if I can fix you became I fixed you, then Numachi would be like right here, okay? Or even above Hachikuji. But until you are fixed, I can't make any claims. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this one. For our squeaky chair, for our character tier list for Monogatari. We got 2 more tier lists we're planning on. What are they? Arcs and OPs and EDs. I think we're gonna do. Which one are we gonna do next? I actually don't know. Oh, frig. Okay, well, future me, figure that out. Good luck. But yeah, that's all I got for this one, y'all. On to the next. It looks like our song, we ended with Fast Love. We're 90 out of 277. So we got a little bit longer to go in that regard. But until then, until the next episode, next tier list where we continue our little musical track and continue making tier lists, because that's just what I do. That's all I got for you for this one. That's a fun little tier list extravaganza. If you've made it this far a video, I do very much appreciate it. Of course, if you like the video, subscribe. If you are new, comment down below if you have anything to say, or join the Discord and talk to me or other Monogatari fans there. But until then, until the next episode, till the next tier list, that's all I got for tonight. I will be seeing you then.